Hey guys, this is Miss Wiesner, and this is another video where you need to take notes. So if you get some paper and a pencil, and make sure you copy down the example problems and then work out the problems that I have you do. It's important that you do this because this is the only way you're going to be getting the instruction is through videos. Now I am going to post a PowerPoint on the last two rules that we learned, and well, those of you who did the mini quiz, some of you didn't do very well, so you want to make sure that you watch the videos, write down the problems just like you were taking notes in class, and do the practice problems, and then do the assignment that goes with it. Whether you just have to do 10 problems or whether it's a mini quiz, or even, we're going to have a quiz on this Wednesday, so you don't want to mess around with this because it's going to get more involved. And I found my little Bitmoji, and there she is flying in on an airplane, paper airplane, so I thought that was fitting for your class. So, ha to all the guys in GT class who like to throw paper airplanes. There you go. Okay, the first one that we're going to look at today is called Power of a Power. And you really don't have to remember what these are called, but it doesn't hurt. It is to find the power of a power, multiply the exponents. So if you think about it, what does this mean? We're having 5 squared in parentheses, and then we're raising that to the third power. So this is a power to a power. So the parentheses are around a power, or exponent as we would used to call it. It's around, so there's an exponent or power in there, and then we're taking that and raising it to another power. And you can also do that again. So that's just what this means. What we learned before was product of powers. That meant that you were multiplying several powers together that had the same base. But if you see the parentheses, that should let you know a lot. Sorry this looks the way it does, but I just wanted to show you what this looks like if you broke it out. So this is 5 squared raised to the third power. Okay, so that's 5 squared 3 times. Okay, so, well, this is the product rule, or power of products. No. Product of power. Sorry, I get that mixed up. It's the product rule is why I say that sometimes. So what you can do, since your bases are the same, you write that down and then you add your exponents. So it's 5 to the 6th. But basically, the way this power works is you just get your arrows popping backwards. So you take the outside power and you multiply it by the inside power. But you're actually doing that, I call it backwards, because usually when we do the distributive property, we're doing to the right. But get your arrows popping. So multiply the 3 times the 2, write down the base, and 3 times 2 is 6. So there you go. Now, don't get an exact answer unless I tell you. Just leave it as an exponent. Alright, so let's do these two examples here. The first one is 8 to the 4th power to the 3rd power. So all you really have to do is multiply the 3 times the 4. So what that equals is 8 to the 12th power. And I'm done. Now, of course, if you had a calculator, you could figure out all this, but this right now, it's not the point. The point is not for you to get the answers. The point is for you to understand the rules. Okay, so you can simplify the exponents. Anybody can plug in exponents into a calculator. That's not what we're doing here. Okay, and on the next example, you can't get an actual answer. So you take the outside exponent, multiply it by the inside exponent, write down the base, and 7 times 5 is 35. So that's it. Okay, you can go ahead and hit pause and write these down and try to do these and come back and check and see if you did okay. Number three's a little bit different, but I think you should be able to do it. So write these three down and then come back and see how you did. Okay, so the reason why I was telling you to make sure that you are watching the videos and then writing the problems down is because of this very act right here, is that you get to practice some of these problems. You need to know what you know and know what you don't know. General George S. Patton Jr. said that. Know what you know and know what you don't know. If you don't do anything, then you don't know what you're capable of. So take the outside exponent, multiply it times inside exponent, 2 to the 10th power, and there you go. The second one, take the outside exponent, multiply it by the inside exponent. It's w to the 24th. And then this one is you're getting your arrows popping and popping again. Okay, so it's going to be 3, and then what's 2 times 3 times 2? Well, that's 6 times 2, which is 12. 3 to the 12th power. Okay, because you multiply that 2 times that 3, and the 2 times that 2. Wait, that should be 24. All right, check on that one. I believe I'm right on that one. So we'll just move on, and if not, we'll worry about it later. Okay, there's airplane again. So I can't believe I found a Bitmoji that where I was sitting in an actual, well, that's obviously not me, but it's my caricature. Sitting in an airplane. Let's find the power of a product. Multiply all powers by the exponent. So power of a product. So if you look inside this green parentheses here, 6 times x squared. So this is a product of 6 times something, right? And then we're raising that to a power. So what you need to think about is, remember that this 6 is not to the second power, just the x, okay? But the 6 does have an exponent. The exponent's 1. So I wrote it out the long way so you can see how it works. So 6x squared times 6x squared times 6x squared. That's raising that to the third power. But I went through and wrote in the 1s on the 6's. So I wrote down 6, and then I added my exponents, which was 3. And then I wrote down the x, and then I added the exponents. I actually wrote it out, which is 2 plus 2 plus 2, which is 6. So 6 to the third power, x to the 6th. Sometimes some books or handouts or websites or whatever, they will want you to go ahead and work that out, 6 times 6 times 6, and then put that next to x to the 6th power. But right now this is okay for you to leave it like that. All right, let's do some examples. So 3a squared, and that's to the 5th power. So you take your 5, and I'm going to go ahead and write this 1 in right here because I don't want to forget that it's there. So 5 times the 1, and then 5 times the 2. So it's going to be 3 to the 5 times 1 power, which is 5. And it's going to be a to the 5 times 2, which is 10, 10th power. That's it. We're not going to worry about 3 to the 5th power and working that out. We're just going to right now make sure we get these powers right, okay? And then on this next one, since it doesn't have an exponent, I'm going to write in the number 1. So it's 4 times 1. So it's 4 to the 4th power. And then p to the 4 times 3, which is 12. That's it. And there is that airplane again. Okay, so I want to do another example because this one had a negative. It doesn't matter though because you're still going to put the one there. It doesn't have any other exponent. So you have to treat the constants. We don't want to call it a constant because this is a coefficient. You don't want to treat them like they don't have any exponents because they do. So if you forget, write the 1 in there. It doesn't matter. So we're going to multiply 5 times all of these powers in there. So this would be negative 2 to the 5th power, m to the 35th, and then n to the 30th. Okay? Just so you can see, I wrote down my basis, negative 2, m, and n, and then I multiplied 5 times 1 and got 5, 5 times 7 and got 35, 5 times 6 and got 30. So that's your answer. Ugh, looks bad, but that's all you have to do. Alright, go ahead and pause and write these down and come back and see how you did. Remember, keeping up with these notes will help you when you have to do practice problems later on. Okay, so let's get your arrows popping backwards. I'll put my little 1 there. I'll go ahead and put my 1 down there so I don't forget. So I'm going to write down 8 and then B. You can do it this way if you want to. 2 times 1 is 2, and then 2 times 9 is 18. That's your answer. And then if you want to do it 6x, because I noticed that on the other ones that we were doing, if there were more than one thing that you were multiplying together, you would forget to write 1 in your answer. So why don't you just write your bases out, and then we can worry about doing the multiplication or addition depending on what kind of a problem it is. These parentheses are showing you that it's multiplication. So 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 5 is 20. And 4 times 11 is 44. Seems a little much, but it is what it is. So I hope you did okay on that, and we'll move on. So this is the last one. Go ahead and try it on your own, and then we'll check it, and then we'll be done with this piece. Okay, so I don't know, I kind of like doing that while ago. Writing down the bases. Remembering to put the 1 there, and then multiplying. So 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. And 3 times 8 is 24. And there you go. Done and done. And so Miss Wiesner says, peace out. You'll have a little handout to do. It's 10 questions. Again, you're going to have to write them down on your own sheet of paper. You don't have to turn it in to me because it's a PDF, and there's no way for you to. It's horrible. The exponents are a pain to do, and then we'll have a quiz on Wednesday. But in the meantime, I'm going to post the PowerPoint, and I'm going to, as we learn new rules, I'm just going to add to the PowerPoint. So you should be able to see new slides as they're added, and because it's actually a Google slide, I think. Yeah, so as I add a slide, you'll be able to see it just like with warm-ups. So let me know if you're having trouble, and I schedule a Google Meet. Try to be there. Peace out.